I'm going to make you Rob Pelinka.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Well, okay. If you make me Rob Pelinka, Michigan, so that's why you want to do that. I know that's what you're doing. I know that's. I know that. And he was on those Fab Five teams too when we played. So here's the thing: Pelinka and the Lakers are more concerned about the cap space for next year. I think they're at 34 million. They don't want to dig into that cap space at all. So if you do a deal with Miles Turner and Buddy Hield has another year on his deal, which is 19 million. So that cuts into that cap. So you only got 15 million to go after a free agent. They don't want that. Because if they really wanted that, they would do it. Now, if I'm Rob Pelinka too, I'm asking myself, if I do the Miles Turner deal and Buddy Hield, does that get me to a championship? Okay, so if it doesn't, is it worth digging into my salary cap and then also giving up 2 first-round picks, 27 and 29? It doesn't make sense long term. Short term, it may appease the fan base and say we win some games, but it doesn't get me to a championship caliber team. No. And see, that's the dilemma that people don't understand is that, Lakers need to make a move that, yeah, okay, but does it get them ultimately to what they want to do, which is a championship? And I think that's the hesitation from the Lakers' perspective is those two things. It doesn't really get us to a championship, and we want to keep as much cap space that we have possible for next year to go after a big-time free agent.
Would you entertain the idea of trading Anthony Davis?
I would be open to it. Now, it would depend on who I can identify to get into a position to take over the reins of the Lakers when LeBron leaves. See, because that was the purpose of getting Anthony Davis anyway, right? Was to have a player in place be able to assume the leadership role and kind of be the guy when LeBron finally via free agency or he retired. So I think you got to look at everything because Anthony, at this point, I think has proven that when he's healthy, he's very good. But he may not be that number one guy that you thought you would have had that you saw coming from New Orleans. So everything is on the table, I think, from the Lakers' perspective.
Except for LeBron being traded.
Well, you can't trade him because he signed his extension, and you can trade him to August anyway.
Okay.
So he's not, he doesn't have any opt-outs in his deal next couple of years anyway. So you can trade him after August.
Okay.
Right now, you can't do anything.
Yeah, Anthony Davis was the Greek freak before the Greek freak. He just stopped.
With injury, but injury. One thing I looked at Anthony, I think what hurt Anthony Davis was, to me, he put a lot of weight up top. Shoulders, arms, and say, well, why is that? Well, it puts a lot of weight on your lower extremities. And how many injuries has he had lower extremity-wise? Because his body is built a certain way. He's a slim guy. So he put the weight up here, which now he started to carry in his hips, knees, and ankles. Now, when you come down on Dan, you play ball. When you come down on somebody's foot, there's really nothing preventative you can do with that. But because you've been hurt so many times, it just goes into something else. When he hurts an ankle, well, that affects his knee, that affects his hip, that affects his back. It's everything.
Yeah. I was wondering
I hate to see it.